The red-eye flight from New York to Paris seemed routine, even boring for Detective Lauren. She thought she'd snooze away these hours to avoid jet lag upon arrival. Then a hushed panic spread through the airplane. Passengers whispered about strange occurrences in the bathroom, mirrors fogging up without reason, and inexplicable chills. Lauren decided to investigate. She found the bathroom mirrors not only fogged, but etched with what seemed to be claw marks. Her detective instincts kicked in. This was no regular flight, she realized. She decided to scour the plane for any anomalies. When she reached the back of the plane, Lauren found a locked door labeled "Authorized Personnel Only," slightly ajar. She peeked inside and saw a flight attendant in a compromising position, feet levitating off the ground. Ignoring the plane's rules, she pushed the door open. The flight attendant fell to the ground as if released from an invisible grip. "Are you okay?" Lauren asked, but the attendant couldn't speak, only pointing to a coffin-like box on the other side of the room. Lauren approached cautiously and lifted the lid. Inside was soil, very old, as if it belonged to a different time and place altogether. Her skin tingled. She felt a presence behind her. She turned to find a tall man in an old-fashioned suit smiling politely. "Quite the detective, aren't you?" the man said, his voice tinged with an unplaceable European accent. "You may call me Lucien." Lauren drew her concealed weapon. "Start talking. What's going on here?" "You're a forceful one," Lucien chuckled. "I like that, but I'm afraid you won't like the truth." Lauren didn't blink. "Try me. You're on a flight that has departed but will never arrive," he said mysteriously. "Welcome to my airborne lair." Lauren felt an icy wind engulf the room. Suddenly, Lucien vanished, leaving her alone with a darkening sky outside the airplane windows. She returned to her seat, shaking off the creepiness of her encounter. But as she sat down, the entire plane jolted as if passing through a turbulence of time. Suddenly, the lights flickered and the passengers began to act erratically. Some were crying, others laughing hysterically. A stewardess tried to maintain order, but her eyes betrayed fear. Lauren knew she had to act fast. She reached for the in-flight magazine, searching for clues. A passage caught her eye, detailing an old vampire legend about unholy soil transported between continents. As she read, her eyes widened. The pieces started falling into place, but the puzzle was horrifying. Lauren felt a hand on her shoulder and spun around. It was Lucien, his eyes glowing an eerie red. "You can't stop this, detective. Your world is about to change." Summoning all her strength, Lauren lunged at Lucien, pressing a small silver crucifix into his chest. He screamed in agony and disintegrated into ash, which was immediately sucked out of an open window. With Lucien gone, the plane stabilized, but the faces of the passengers remained etched with inexplicable terror. As they descended into Paris, Lauren couldn't shake off the feeling that Lucien was just a pawn in a much bigger game. She noticed the flight attendants whispering among themselves, occasionally glancing her way. One came over to her, handing her a folded note discreetly. It read, "Don't disembark. Meet us at Gate 9. Upon landing, she saw men in black suits waiting at the gate. They nodded at her, as if acknowledging her entry into a world she could never leave. Lauren decided to ignore the men and headed towards Gate 9. There she was greeted by agents of an undisclosed organization. "We've been watching you, Detective," one of the agents said, "and we think you'd be a good fit for our specialized unit." Lauren felt her life take another twist as she was led into a hidden chamber beneath the airport. As they descended, the agent explained, "Lucien was one of many. There's an entire underworld we've been fighting for decades." She walked past them, gripping the crucifix tightly in her hand. She exited the chamber, inhaling deeply, knowing that she was entering a war that would pit her against darkness itself.